Hi, everyone in the back. We're going to start in 30 seconds. If you want to come in and find your seats. Good morning. It's awesome to see so many smiling, happy, talkative folks. I'm going to ask for the talking to quiet a bit so that you can hear me. My name is Samantha White. My pronouns are she and her, and I am honored to welcome you to the Ethical Society of St. Louis. We are an ethical humanist community where people come together to explore big questions, live with intention, and work towards a more just and compassionate world. As we continue our Seeking Truth series grounded in reason, evidence, and lived experience, today's platform invites us into a timely and grounding conversation about immigration, enforcement, and ethical responsibility. In moments when public attention intensifies and information moves quickly, it can be difficult to separate fear from fact. Seeking Truth asks something different of us. It asks us to listen carefully, to examine evidence, to center lived experience, and to respond not with panic, but with integrity. This morning, we'll explore what immigration enforcement looks like on the ground in our own St. Louis community, how it impacts real families and neighborhoods, and what it means for us to act as informed and compassionate community members. As we begin, I invite you to silence your devices and settle in. Let's prepare ourselves to listen with clarity, curiosity, and care. This morning's participatory music comes from the Justice Choir Songbook, led by our Executive Director of Community Experience, Claire Alexander. So true. The Justice Choir movement originated in 2017 when a small group of musicians gathered in response to political turmoil and asked a simple question: how can we collect and share songs that movements can sing immediately, songs that were accessible, participatory, and rooted in justice? What started as one gathering quickly became an international open-source songbook used by communities across the world. The St. Louis chapter of the Justice Choir movement carries that spirit forward, singing at community events, interfaith gatherings, and civil demonstrations, reminding us that music can build courage and connection. If you would like to sing along, there are song packets on the tables as you enter the platform hall. We'll begin with If You Want Peace, Work for Justice. This simple and powerful song reminds us that peace is not passive. It is something that we actively build through collective action. You're invited to sing along as you are comfortable.
Good morning. No pressure, but singing is really just talking, just longer, and you go up and down. Okay, so we're going to start with just some talking, which most of us probably are comfortable with. It depends on the context, maybe. Okay, everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. Try it with me. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. The movements are optional. This is just fun. Okay, every time you hear injustice done, try it. Every time you hear injustice done, then shout it in the air. Then shout it in the air. Okay, that's a lot of words and they're gonna happen kind of quickly, okay? So it goes like this. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. Try it with me. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. That's right, my turn. Every time you hear injustice done, then shout it in the air. Every time? Every time you hear injustice done, then shout it in the air. Okay, that's the refrain. That's the thing we come back to over and over again. All right, there's another part that will change up a little bit throughout the song. I'll try to give you some warnings when that happens, but I also might forget. This is part of community song. It's fun. But you will get to do this. Hey, right? We like that. Try with me. Ready and stomp. There you go. Again, and hey, look, we can all do that. Okay, so whether or not you're going to do the singing part with me, we can all do the stomp clap, yeah? Okay, let me get my pitch. Ooh, boy. Okay. Here's the verses that happen. I'll go first. If you want peace, work for justice. If you want peace, work for justice. If you want peace, work for justice. Start at home, start right now. Okay, try the stomp claps with me. If you want to sing along, maybe you could do that too. If you want peace, work for justice. If you want peace, work for justice. If you want peace, work for justice. Start at home, start right now. Nice. If you see wrong, work to right it. Ready? And if you see wrong, work to right it. If you see wrong, work to fight it. Work to fight it. If you see wrong, right it. To right it. Start at home, start right now. Okay, those big words. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. Every time you hear injustice done, then shout it in the air. Okay, I'm going to add some notes. We're going to go up and down, right? Okay? Everybody knows you can't have... Oh, my turn first. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. Every time you see injustice done, then shout it in the air. We're just moving our voices up and down. Okay? Everybody, ready and try it. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. That's right. Every time you see injustice done, then shout it in the air. There you go. If you want peace. If you want peace, work for justice. You know that part? If you want peace, work for justice. If you want peace, work for justice. Start at home, start right now. Everybody knows. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. Every time you see injustice done, then shout it in the air. Here's a new one. If you hear lies. If you hear lies, sing the truth back. If you hear lies, sing the truth back. If you hear lies, sing the truth back. Start at home, start right now. Everybody knows, last time. Everybody knows you can't have peace when you make the world unfair. Every time you see injustice done, then shout it in the air. If you want peace. If you want peace, work for justice. If you want peace, work for justice. If you want peace, work for justice. Start at home, start right now. Nice.
You all sounded really good. I don't know if you could hear it as well as I could, but good job. Each week, we read our youth education core values as a way to bring us together and remind us of our shared commitments. This morning, our core values reader is Axel Jones. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Every person is important and unique. Every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. I can learn from everyone. I am a part of this earth. I cherish it and all the life upon it. I can learn from the world around me by using my senses, mind, and feelings. I am a member of the world community, which depends on the cooperation of all people for peace and justice. I can learn from the past to build for the future. I am free to question. I am free to choose what I believe. I accept responsibility for my choices and actions. I strive to live my values.
Thank you so much. You do a fabulous job, as always. Thank you for volunteering. These values remind us that community members of all ages help make this place what it is. Our youth members, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that you enjoy all of your programming downstairs, and we'll see you after platform. All right. Our next segment, Stories of Ourselves, provides an opportunity to connect with one another more deeply by sharing our stories. This morning, we will hear from member Mary Ann Perkins. Please join me in welcoming Mary Ann to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mary Ann Perkins, she, her, and I am the president of the Ethical Society's Board of Trustees. Today is the day after Valentine's Day, and coincidentally, it's 2 days after the 3rd anniversary of my membership in the Ethical Society. I did have to look that up. Someone asked me recently how long I've been a member, and I was like, I don't even know. So I consulted the archives and confirmed that the Board of Trustees approved my membership on February 13th, 2023. Reading over that month's membership report, I was interested to see the new membership of Holly and Byron Brubaker alongside mine. I think it's pretty cool to share a membership anniversary with people I admire so much. And a lot of you will know that we ask new members to provide a little biographical sketch. And that was also in the membership report. I'd forgotten what I wrote 3 years ago. Could I read it to you? So here we go. While growing up in St. Louis County, Mary Ann Perkins dreamed of travel and envied those who did. The pursuit of that dream led her on a 2-decade journey across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Along the way, she had 2 daughters, completed 2 master's degrees, and built a career as a United Nations editor, 1 client at a time. She loves comedy, poetry, and distance running. To this day, she has never tasted a cheesecake she did not like. It's all still true. There's a lot in there, and there's a lot that is not in there. I am an editor at heart, and I left an awful lot on the cutting room floor. I did not mention my Mormon upbringing, I did not mention my marriage or divorce, or the uninhabitable condo I was renovating in Baldwin. I did not mention the religious transition group, even though my determination to get that group going again was the reason I applied for membership. If I were to introduce myself now, I'd say that I'm an empty nester working at WashU. I'd tell you I got into organized activism because the Supreme Court overturned Roe, and because Allison Hiles stood on this stage and cited an array of challenges we are facing and said, just pick something. I'd tell you I am running for a seat in the Missouri legislature, the most ambitious thing I have ever done, because our values are worth fighting for. I'd tell you that I love facilitating the religious transition group. That group changed my life for the better. I'd tell you I love serving with my fellow trustees, even when serving feels hard. And maybe it's only because it's the day after Valentine's Day, but I have no other word than love for how I feel about this community. I'm thankful that the Ethical Society was here for me in 2021 when in-person meetings resumed, when I first became a regular visitor. I was elected board president almost 9 months ago, and in another 3 months at our annual meeting, I will pass the torch to our next president, Clark Hoteling. Within this beautiful auditorium are many former board presidents. If I may, would all the former board presidents please raise your hands? And now all the former or current trustees. In addition, there are many, many more member volunteers who reliably keep our community going. I want another round of applause for all of our member volunteers. Thank you for serving. Thank you for cultivating this community and keeping it strong, not just for those of us who are here today, but for all the people who need us but have not found us yet. Everything this community has to offer rests and relies on the generosity of Ethical Society members and friends. To everyone who provides financial support for this society, thank you. We would not survive long without it. Thank you for recognizing that we are valuable and worthy of support. Our stewardship committee has worked diligently to craft our current pledge appeal, and I urge you to complete your pledge today. Reflect on what you value. Reflect on what you are building and becoming, and give as generously as you can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marianne, for bringing your authentic voice to our community. We're lucky to have you. Please welcome Clara back to the piano for our next song, Rise by Ariana Abuela. This song is an anthem of resilience and collective strength. It calls us not just to stand up individually, but to rise together, grounded in our shared values and our shared humanity.
I'm going to invite you to hop in with me on the refrain of this song. You'll see it on the first page if you're looking at the music, where it says, "Oh, stand with me." There's a big refrain right above it. If you are a part reader kind of person, there are parts on the second page if you're interested in singing harmonies. If you are not, it doesn't exist. Don't look at the second page. The first page is where we're going to do most of the singing. I'm going to leave a little bit out of the third verse if you're following along on the music very intently, and if you're not following along that intently, you probably won't even notice. I will rise with all my daughters. I will rise against my foes. I will rise with all the mothers. I will carry all their woes. I will rise to fight for freedom. I will rise though faced with fears. I will rise against all hatred while my eyes are veiled in tears. I will rise for religious freedom, for a rich diversity. I will rise for all the weary, for each lonely refugee. I will work for all our women who deserve equal pay. I will work for all our children who await better day. Sisters all, stand with me. Rise up hand in hand. Oh, stand with me. We will rise to spread love across this bitter land. I will rise for love and justice, that we may see a better day. I will rise in peace and service for our world in disarray. I will rise to build up bridges for this broken world we see. I will tear down walls between us that divide you and me. Brothers all, stand with me. Rise up hand in hand. Oh, stand with me. We will rise to spread love across this bitter land. I will rise. Thanks for singing with me.
Thank you, Claire, and to all of you. Before our main address, let's pause and reset our attention. I invite you to take a silent minute to settle into your seat, relax your body from the top of your scalp down through all your muscles, and bring your attention to your breath as we prepare ourselves to listen carefully and thoughtfully. Thank you. As we continue our Seeking Truth series, we're exploring how reason, evidence, and lived experience guide ethical action. Our speaker today embodied that work. Mirka Estrada is the Director of Grants and Compliance at the Migrant and Immigrant Community Action Project. A graduate of Wellesley College in Sociology and Education, she began her career with the City of St. Louis Community Development Administration, where she developed expertise in grants and project management while working to address systemic barriers to justice. Mirka will help us better understand what is happening right now and how we can respond with clarity and integrity. Please join me in welcoming Mirka Estrada to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mirka Estrada. I am the Director of Grants and Compliance at the MICA Project. I use she, her pronouns, and I just want to start by saying thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you all today and share about the work that we're doing at the Migrant and Immigrant Community Action Project, or the MICA Project. I just want to start with an overview. The MICA Project has been a beacon in St. Louis since 2012, so we've been around for about 15 years. It started with 2 WashU law graduates who started taking on clients with who had a range of immigration issues and started representing them. Now we're a team of over 25 staff members. Our budget has grown and our work has grown. 2025 was an incredibly difficult year for us. We faced a range of issues that we never thought we would see, especially after having gone through the first Trump administration from 2018 onward. And I am here to explain to you all, provide more context about what it is that we're seeing. The MICA Project has a couple different departments. So we have our legal services department, but we also provide client support services to provide wraparound services to our clients who have non-legal needs. And in 2025, we were very grateful to start our advocacy department. And you'll hear more about the incredible work that they're doing. So today, I'm going to be providing a federal and state policy overview. This is so that you all understand the way that immigration policy is entrenched, and the way that it is being fiscally supported by our tax dollars, patterns of ICE enforcement in our region, impacts to legal services, impacts to client support services, advocacy strategies, what the MICA Project is doing in 2026, and how everybody here can get involved in the work that we are doing. So, policy overview. In 2025, we all know that the big, beautiful bill was passed. In it was $45 billion for detention, which was a 265% increase from previous budgets, and a $30 billion budget for ICE to go and terrorize our communities. It's the largest budget of any other law enforcement agency, and these are all our tax dollars being used to fund what it is that ICE is doing in our communities. Enforcement and detention practices have shifted dramatically. There are policies mandating detention for anyone who entered without authorization and eliminating bond hearings. So once a person is detained, there is no possibility of them being able to leave detention without either taking voluntary departure, meaning that individual is forced to sign away the right to fight their case in this country, or they're deported. And the expansion of 287G in Missouri, apologies. Governor Kehoe signed Executive Order 2504, which deputized the Missouri State Highway Patrol to effectively act as ICE agents and allow them to detain individuals that they stopped. And so that was one of the first actions that he took when he came into office in 2025. And you'll hear more about how 287G agreements are actually the arm of Trump's deportation machine, and how there are actions that we can take to limit the effects of that. The decimation of immigration courts. So actually, the Trump administration, one of their big strategies is firing immigration judges. Immigration law is administrative law, so it's not necessarily a third party or separate from any. It's not its own entity. It's not an Article 3 law. So the way that immigration judges can be fired is because they're administrative employees of the Department of Justice, so they can be fired at whoever's will. And so with that, they're being replaced by judges who are going to uphold this administration's agenda and do what they are told to do. And they're shutting down legal pathways. And I'm going to explain a little bit more of what that means in a couple of more slides, so that you understand the way that immigration law is being targeted from all kinds of different ways. And because our organization is kind of at the intersection of all of it, we're feeling these attacks in different ways. But I wanted to frame what ICE enforcement looks like in our region in particular, because we started off the year with some incredibly violent imagery and incredibly violent attacks that happened in this country. And, we stand with our community in Minneapolis and Minnesota and the communities all over the country that have seen this ICE enforcement be so drastic and be so violent. And I'm going to frame a little bit of why enforcement in our region is looking a little bit different. So in Missouri, because of the 280 CFNG agreements that were signed by Kehoe that deputized the Missouri State Highway Patrol, local law enforcement is actually the arm of Trump's deportation machine. So as you can see, the last statistic there is that before 2025, there are actually 0 287G agreements in Missouri. Starting in 2026, and as of like this weekend when I checked, we have over 44 active 287G agreements. These are agreements that different municipalities, different city police departments can sign with ICE, where they're being incentivized to racially profile individuals who they believe are like illegal aliens or unauthorized people who don't have documentation, to detain them and then turn them into ICE. And so this is a very systemic way in which local municipalities are actually doing the dirty work for the Trump administration. So we don't need violent confrontations with ICE in our neighborhoods, because the local police departments are taking on that heavy work. And they're also providing the beds, which, as you can see in the first bullet point, local law enforcement is sharing information about people in their jails and holding and transferring people in response to voluntary requests. So 287G agreements are voluntary. Other than the one that Kehoe signed with the Missouri State Highway Patrol, no local municipality is being forced to sign these agreements. They're entering into them voluntarily. They're, again, signing agreements to empower their deputies to act as immigration agents and renting out their beds in jails, which greatly expands ICE's capacity to, detain individuals more readily. As of December 2025, 89% of the people who are detained are there because they were detained during a traffic stop. And so this information is coming out of the St. Louis Rapid Response Hotline, the hotline which a lot of MICA staff, myself included, staff on a daily basis, will receive and field calls from family members who are panicked, don't understand why their loved one is being arrested for simply not having a driver's license, or because their tail light was out. So little traffic stops where for an American citizen who has their driver's license, being stopped for your taillight does not lead to arrest, but because these individuals don't have proper documentation, it's being leveled and they're being detained during these traffic stops. And so that statistic is very jarring, and I think it's why it's important to understand how much 287G agreements have reshaped what immigration enforcement is looking like in our region. This is a screenshot I took of a flyer that was on the ICE website. And so this is how they are enticing local municipalities to join the 287G program. They have different models, as you can see. From my review of the 287G agreements in our region, most of them are doing a task force model. And as you can see, it clearly outlines that these agents, the municipalities that are joining and signing 287G agreements are charged with identifying and arresting, detaining people who haven't necessarily been charged of any crime at all. And what happens is, after an individual is detained, whether it be for a traffic stop, they are arrested and then a bond is set on them. Many times family members think paying the bond will release the individual. People are just being scammed out of their money, because by that point, the local municipalities have already notified ICE, and a 72-hour ICE hold is what it begins, and then ICE comes and retrieves the individual from local police custody, and then they get transferred into ICE custody. Once that process starts, there is no way for a loved one to be able to stop it, unfortunately. And as you can see, there are benefits for municipalities, monetary benefits to wreak this kind of pain and havoc into people's lives, but unfortunately, it's enough for a lot of these municipalities to engage in these types of agreements. But we'll talk a little bit later about what can be done. So impacts to legal services. We have ICE enforcement happening at the same time that many legal pathways that were once available to our clients are no longer there. Our attorneys are scrambling to be able to help clients who, prior to 2025, there was a route that they were going to take. There was a case to be fought. And now with, the many injunctions and many policies that have come out of this administration are now left with no viable pathways. These are just a couple of the things that my colleagues have had to deal with in 2025, and the list continues to grow. So affirmative asylum decisions were paused earlier in 2025. Temporary protected status ended for many countries. Immigrant visas from over 75 different countries have been paused. People with deferred action are being detained. Deferred action, like DACA, means that you should not be a priority for detainment, and a lot of these individuals, unfortunately, are ending up in ICE custody and being deported. Parole as a manner of entry into status has been ended. Spouses of U.S. citizens are being arrested at interviews or biometrics while they're actively in the process of pursuing a legal pathway towards documentation, effectively preventing them from applying or continuing their case, and changing decades of law and practice to now requiring indefinite mandatory detention without the possibility of bond. I think the last one is what we're all seeing as why these detention centers are being filled up. A lot of people are being indefinitely detained, and that's by, it's a strategy in order to make people lose hope, in order to make people want to drop their case, because these detention centers are overrun with people. People are not being taken care of. Their medical needs are being, denied. They're not being fed well. These are not places where people are gonna wanna be, and they're not gonna wanna fight their case and wait while they await their day in court. And so it's a strategy to make people lose hope and to make people wanna sign a voluntary departure form so that they can get away as fast as possible. Even many people who might actually have a chance of receiving some sort of relief if they had their day in court. As I stated earlier, we have a client support services department that actually supports our clients who are receiving legal services with any other non-legal needs they might have. A lot of our clients don't speak English as a main language. St. Louis, I think, is a city that has people from many, many different countries, but unfortunately, a lot of our institutions still aren't able to serve people who don't speak English or who don't understand the rules about, how to engage with these institutions. And so our case managers support our clients during that process. A lot of our clients have been here for a long time and have children who are U.S. citizens who are then able to take advantage of services like Medicaid, CHIP, or SNAP. Unfortunately, because of the Big Beautiful Bill, changes were made to eligibility for SNAP and Medicaid. And so children who were born in the United States but whose parents are not American citizens or don't have some sort of documentation in the United States were no longer able to take advantage of things that were rightfully they should be able to have. And so now it's up to nonprofit service providers in our region, like food pantries or like local low-cost clinics, to be able to pick up on those people who are not able to receive services. And so our case managers try to identify partners, try to identify new organizations who are able to address our clients' needs. But unfortunately, because of the cuts to our federal safety net, our nonprofit local service providers are not able to pick up on that overflow of individuals who need help. And so it's very urgent for our client support services department to try to find other avenues, other nonprofits who might not understand how to connect with our clients. We are that bridge for them. Emergency medical care. Under the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, hospitals receiving Medicare funds must provide care to anyone in immediate need. Unfortunately, we had a case where federally qualified health clinics were turning our clients away, and the only way our clients can receive care is to go to urgent care, and that's very, very expensive. And so these are the kinds of things that our Client Support Services Department is dealing with, where all these policies are making it more and more difficult for our clients to just receive base level care. And so they have to, be creative in their approach and identify new partners. Advocacy. In 2025, we are so grateful that our advocacy department started in summer of 2025. MICA's mission has always been to use organization, advocacy, and legal services to improve the condition for our immigrant neighbors. Unfortunately, because of funding in the past, we were never able to fully start our advocacy department, but it came right at the perfect time, because as legal pathways are being ripped away and as, federal policies are making it more difficult for our clients to even just get basic care in our country, traditional pathways to advocate for our clients, like better policies, are just that's not where we're going to see the change right now. And so our advocacy department is leading the way with connecting our neighbors, making them understand what it is that our clients are facing, that our immigrant neighbors are facing, and pinpointing, individuals, municipalities, legislators, who we can pressure in order to change their positions on certain things so that we can continue to support our clients during this really difficult time. So some of the campaigns that they're running is the Ending the Police to ICE pipeline. As I stated earlier, as the numbers have proved, the Trump administration is pouring everything they can into ICE, and ICE is pouring everything they can into local municipalities to do the work for them. And we can do something to stop it. When neighbors learn and understand that their local municipalities are taking money to detain individuals and to hold them for ICE, people are not happy about that. People don't want their local police department to be doing that. People want their local police department to keep them safe, not rip families apart. And so by educating people about this police to ICE pipeline that exists in our region, neighbors can organize and actually demand that their municipalities stop these practices. Again, 287G agreements are completely voluntary. These are not models that any of these municipalities have to engage with. And so they're currently running that campaign. It just started in 2026. And I'll talk a little bit more ahead about how to learn more about that. They're running trainings about that. In Richmond Heights, they actually had a really great success there. Neighbors, once they learned about what was happening and that Richmond Heights was participating in some of these tactics of racially profiling individuals and then detaining them and holding them for ICE, were not happy about that. They found out who were the key people who made decisions for that police department, were able to connect with them, present information about how, neighbors are not happy about this. This is not what we want our local police department to be doing. And they got the chief of police to agree to stop, arresting people and elevating them to ICE. And so that gives us a lot of hope that there is a lot that we can do in our local neighborhoods to change and fight against this trend of local police departments doing the dirty work for them. And so we're kicking up that campaign. We're working with neighbors across the region, identifying other police departments where we know we can make a difference and pressure those decision makers to change their practices. We're also running the ICE Out Enterprise. Enterprise is a St. Louis-based company that is actually has a lot of contracts with the Department of Homeland Security. We've had demonstrations outside of Enterprise pressuring them to stop those contracts with DHS, and we're continuing that campaign. And so there are ways that people can get involved in that as well. In terms of the legislative sessions, the MICA Project is a member of the Missouri Immigration Policy Coalition. We actually fiscally sponsor the Missouri Immigration Policy Coalition. It's a coalition of members all over Missouri who want to have a stake and a say in the different immigration policies that are being brought up on a vote to the House. And so they're doing a lot of education work, educating policymakers, and trying to pass policies that actually help our neighbors and not hurt them. And so instead of being on the defensive every time, we also want to be proactive about presenting legislation that will positively shape the future of our immigrant neighbors. We're doing a lot of community defense work. As we stated, I think we deeply believe that there's a lot that we can do locally to change the perceptions, to change the narrative about immigrants in a region, but also to keep each other safe. I think, as I stated earlier, we see how it can get in our communities if we let ICE and local municipalities run rampant and keep doing these kinds of keep doing these types of strategies. And so we really believe that by educating our neighbors, organizing our neighbors, and making sure that everybody has a plan of action, we can pressure people to change their policies. We're running workplace preparedness, so we're going out, every other weekend, knocking on different local businesses' doors, educating them about, how to react if there's ICE presence or police presence, and how to have a plan. We're running community defense building workshops. These are trainings that we are encouraging. If you live in your community and you have a group of people who are interested in learning more about, how to keep your neighborhood safe in the case of like ICE enforcement or police enforcement, this is that place where you'll learn from seasoned organizers about how to create an emergency preparedness plan and how to make sure you keep your community safe. That goes even beyond just ICE enforcement. We saw the tornado that happened in 2025, and we learned how disconnected our communities truly were. And so having a community preparedness plan is not even just for ICE enforcement. It's if there's a natural disaster, if there's anything in our region that happens and we need to communicate with our neighbors, we need to know who to talk to, and we need to have a plan in place. We have ICE Watch support. If you want to learn how to report ICE sightings or anything like that, we do that consistently throughout the year. And then rapid response line support. That's something that everybody at MICA is hands-on. We each take a shift. But we also encourage our neighbors who can to join us in that. You don't have to be bilingual in order to do the support line. You don't have to take the calls. There are a lot of other ways that we're helping our immigrant neighbors through the rapid response line. And we would encourage all of you to get involved in that. Looking ahead to 2026, like I said, 2025, incredibly difficult. We didn't know what to expect. We knew that it wasn't going to be good. Now in 2025, we know what the patterns of ICE enforcement are. We know what they're trying to do with immigration courts and decimating those and shutting down legal pathways. And so what the MICA Project is working on is making sure that all of our clients are informed. If they're informed and they understand that there are unfortunately no legal pathways for them, then they understand that they have to be prepared. And so that means creating a power of attorney document so that their children are safe. That means being aware of all their bank account information so that if anything happens to them, that is readily available. And so that they don't fall victims to scams. Unfortunately, a lot of people are taking advantage of this, time that we're in to scam our clients, and so we're working hard to continue informing them and providing them the information they know so that they don't fall victims to these scams. And intervention. Like I said, a lot of legal pathways are being closed for our clients. Unfortunately, there are still things that can be done, and so what we're focusing on is, fighting for our clients who have a chance in court and taking on cases that we know will have a maximum impact for our clients. And intentionality. Even as our policies grow tougher, we're going to stay true to our values. We're very excited that we have our advocacy department started in 2025. It was the perfect time for that. We look forward to that continuing to grow in 2026. It's only 2 people, but they've already done so much and expanded our network of organizations so much. And so we're excited to get more people plugged into that. How to get involved. So these are the 2 main takeaways from this, is join our advocacy newsletter. Our advocacy team is at the forefront of everything that is happening in our region. And they are putting out some great information for how to get people involved, putting out some great information about what it is that's happening in our region. And that's how you'll get the latest information on our different campaigns that we're running and the different ways to get involved. This second link over here is our link tree. This is where you'll find all of the links to sign up for the upcoming trainings. We have an ICE Workplace Preparedness Canvas on the 22nd of the month. That's when we actually go out and knock on these businesses' doors and we talk to them. We gauge whether or not they have a workplace preparedness plan, and we engage with them long term to help them feel prepared. And then we have a community defense training on the 21st of this month. That one's already packed. But if you check out our link tree, you'll find more of those coming up in our region and many, many more things. But I think these are the ways that, we want our community to get plugged in. I think education sessions like this are the first step to understand and contextualize what's happening in our region. But there's more we can do, and these are the ways to take action. So I appreciate very much this time. to explain and provide a little bit more context about what is happening in our region. I think the last thing I will say, I've said a lot of things that feel very heavy. They are very heavy. We feel it in our work every day, but we really truly believe that there is hope in the local. There's hope in the local communities. There's hope when all of our neighbors get together. So I really appreciate the opportunity to share all of that with you. And I do hope to see you all at some of those advocacy events in the very near future. So thank you.
I just don't know how to feel that tall. Thank you so very much. I appreciate the call to action and the actual action steps that we can take. They're so helpful, and for the impact that you're making in the community. I have a lot of gratitude. At the Ethical Society of St. Louis, our mission calls us to put ethics into action and to nurture a community where doing what's right shapes how we live together. One of the ways we can live our mission is by investing in our youth. Over the past month, our young people helped create and submit a grant application to Project for Awesome, a global fundraising event where nonprofits receive funding through public voting and matching gifts. Our teams shaped the creative direction, staff supported the execution, and together we made it happen in just over a month. That's really amazing. So last year, the top voted organizations each received nearly $40,000 in grant funding. Your votes here could mean huge support for our youth programs. And just as important, we need visibility. We need a lot of views and a lot of votes. The more this video is watched and shared, the more awareness we build for our youth programs here in St. Louis. So we're gonna watch the video together right now.
With the world being at an all-time high for chaotic and catastrophic events, while simultaneously being very accessible yet disconnected, it is bound to take a toll on our spirits and bodies.
In a world that's loud and demanding, people like me need a space to just be us. That gets exhausting. A lot of us feel burned out. A lot of us feel overwhelmed.
At the Ethical Society of St. Louis, our youth group provides something rare. Space to slow down. Space to be honest. Space to connect with each other.
Our kids experience this deeply, with their time and their lives mapped out for them. They are pressured by society to stay productive and have it all figured out.
Our youth group as the Ethical Society is different. Here, we're not trying to impress anybody. We're just being human together.
The Ethical Society of St. Louis provides a variety of different youth group programming on Sunday mornings, giving parents time to connect with themselves and each other at humanist services and casual coffee hour.
We strive to meet our children where they're at. That varies from nap time, board games, community service, strengthening personal values, and envisioning new worlds.
When everything else feels overwhelming, this space helps us calm down. It helps us feel connected and helps us keep going.
Here, teens are treated as valued contributors, learning alongside mentors with care, boundaries, and purpose.
Funding helps make this possible.
It supports weekend retreats focused on rest and stress management. It supports field trips and shared experiences that build community.
It supports programs that invest in youth dignity, connection, and resilience.
It helps the space exist beyond 1 hour each week.
This isn't about doing more. It's about having space to grow.
This is the kind of space that we want more kids to have. Your support makes this possible.
This is what supporting teens looks like. A place to breathe, a place to belong.
Didn't they do just a great job? To support our youth programs, please help us amplify this video. One of the QR codes on the screen links directly to the YouTube video so that you can watch it again and share it widely. And the more views and votes that we receive, the stronger our impact. So share it early and often. And then because our mission is about turning votes into action, today's collection will be shared between the Ethical Society and the MICA Project. Yeah, absolutely. Your gifts support both the growth of our programs and the MICA Project's vital work serving immigrant families in our community. So the second QR code on the screen is for donations for today's split collection. And then you may also give in the baskets that are going to be passed by our welcome team right now. When we show up together with our time, our treasure, and our talents, our mission truly comes to life. Okay, now we're going to take a moment to hear some announcements about the life of our community. If you were in forum this morning, you learned about the Strategic Planning Task Force and that they're preparing a 2-year interim strategic plan for our congregational approval. And your input will help guide the priorities and resource allocation. The survey is open to members and non-members until March 1st. Submit online or grab a paper copy found in the office. And if you have questions, please email the strategic planning at ethicalstl.org. Okay, and this is just a reminder to make your pledge. Our 2026-27 annual pledge campaign now has just 2 weeks remaining prior to its close on March 1st. You can make your pledge online at ethicalstl.org/giving, or paper copies of the pledge form are available in the office. Save the date also right now for March 1st for the post-platform complimentary celebration appreciation luncheon in the Becker Room. All are invited and welcome. Members, visitors, and friends. We look forward to seeing you there. And on behalf of the Ethical Society of St. Louis and the Stewardship Committee, be assured that your support is greatly appreciated. Are you interested in helping keep our spaces welcoming and well cared for? Join us for a Building and Grounds team meet and greet in the Hankey Room on Sunday, February 22nd, right after platform. This will be a great chance to connect in person, share ideas, and discuss upcoming plans for our spaces. We look forward to seeing you there. And then we're excited to announce that planning is underway for a brand new Ethical Society of St. Louis website, and we want your ideas to help guide it. If you have suggestions, feedback, or features you would love to see, please scan the QR code on the screen and complete our short input form. It only takes a few minutes and every response helps. This form will close on Sunday, February 15th at midnight. So that's today, y'all. So please make sure to scan the code and share your thoughts before you go to bed tonight. Oh, I almost missed one. This is another save the date. We're excited to welcome Forrest Valakai for a special weekend at the Ethical Society. A biologist and science communicator known for his infectious enthusiasm and love of life, Forrest brings science, skepticism, and care for one another together in powerful ways. So please join us on Saturday night, February 28th, and Sunday morning, March 1st. More details will be on our website and socials. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot is happening on March 1st, so make sure to show up and be here. Okay. As we come to the end of our time together this morning, let's sing This Is What Democracy Looks Like. This musical setting of the popular protest chant, reimagined by modern composer Elizabeth Alexander, invites us to be loud about our right to representation and our shared civic responsibility. The St. Louis chapter of the Justice Choir is housed right here at the Ethical Society of St. Louis. Justice Choir STL is a community choir open to all, a place where neighbors gather to sing songs rooted in justice movements and bring them into the wider community through rallies, interfaith events, and public gatherings. It's one of the ways that we live our values out loud. If you'd like to join the choir, our next performance is an interfaith concert here at the Society on the evening of Thursday, April 30th. And if you want more information, please reach out to Claire Alexander. Okay, let's make some noise together.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got it? Okay, great. That's a big part of the song. Okay, I'm going to go, this is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Good, great. I'd say that energy is about a 30%. I wonder if we could get it around a 75 maybe to close out the morning together. I'll give you a little bit more energy maybe. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3 of the copycats, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll try to give you something like, so you know that it's going to change, all right? If you're following along on the music, there's also some stuff that happens before that refrain that we're going to do a few times, and it starts with, what's written is, 1, we see that there's a wrong to be righted. 2, we know that, but those numbers are just begging me to be yelled. So I think we should yell them, okay? It starts with a big 1. Right here, and we'll go 1. We see that there's a wrong to be righted. 2. We know that we are stronger when united. 3. We exercise our right to assemble. 4. That's when the proud and mighty start to tremble. This is different. Just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering, hey, hey, look this way. This is what democracy looks like. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. We see that there's a wrong to be righted. 2. We know that we are stronger when united. We exercise our right to assemble. That's when the proud and mighty start to tremble. Just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering, hey, hey, look this way. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Say it like someone's listening. This is what democracy looks like. There you go. One more time. This is what democracy looks like. Thanks. Nice job. Nice job. Right back at ya.
For singing along this morning and for lending your voices to our shared music. It's such fun. Now that you know a few Justice Choir songs, we hope you'll consider joining us at one of our upcoming events. Thank you, Marianne, for sharing your story with honesty and generosity this morning. And thank you to Chrissy and Teresa for providing our ASL interpretation this morning. And a sincere thank you to Mirka for offering clarity in a moment that can feel overwhelming. You've helped us move beyond urgency and assumption towards understanding, evidence, and thoughtful response. As we leave today, may we carry forward a commitment to the kind of truth rooted in listening, learning, and centering human dignity. May we respond to uncertainty not with panic, but with integrity and intentionality. After platform, we invite you downstairs for coffee and conversation. Community is one of the ways that we stay informed, grounded, and connected. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you again next Sunday.